right, good morning. I am harvesting onions today and I want to give you a few tips for long-term storage of onions. If you grew onions this year, you're going to want to watch this. Things got a little out of hand, I must admit. Was not on top of my onion harvest as I should have been. I started over 400 onion seeds back in February. Starting onions from seeds is much better than onion sets. So my best success was with the Walla Walla. Who would have guessed here in Washington that I would have grown Washington onions best? So as you can see, I am in a carport. Yay, we finally got a carport on the property to put all of our junk that was just sitting outside of the shed. We don't have a garage, so this is a huge improvement, and I'm very excited to get all my totes and gear and quad and bikes and stuff out of the rain. But it also does a great job of being the perfect onion curing place. So ideal temperatures for curing onions, 70 to 95 degrees. We want nice airflow, both of the ends are open, and I have this hardware cloth. It was probably used for some kind of animal cage. I don't know, I found it on the property. So I have it set up, propped up on top of these totes, and it allows airflow to come up underneath and the onions to be staying off the ground, having that airflow directly under them. So because I didn't harvest my onions as quickly as I should have, some of them began to bolt, as you can see, going into flower. So the onions that are going into flower, I am separating and keeping to one side. First, I'm going to lay out all of the onions that haven't gone to flower, and those are going to be the ones that I store for long-term storage. So let's get these out of here and talk about proper storing, curing for onions. So we've got some Walla Walla sweet onions, and I believe I did some white onions as well. I didn't mark it, so I have no idea what's what, but you know, there's even some red onions. They did not do well for me though, like very tiny. So I'll probably stick to Walla Walla next year for just the space in my garden and ease of growing. So we're just taking all of the onions that didn't bolt and laying them up here on this screen. Now, they're gonna cure for 2 weeks at 75, 70, ooh, look at this one is like a clone. It's like a Siamese twin. 70 to 95 degrees. For the next 2 weeks, they'll sit out here. After that, keeping them like around 40 degrees Fahrenheit for long-term storage is best. I don't have a root cellar, unfortunately. So this one, you can tell, bolted because it's got a woody stalk. Even though there isn't a flower bulb on it, it's definitely a bolted onion. And so when they bolt, meaning they go to flower and go to seed, they are taking their energy away from the bulb and going to seed production. This means that the onion just becomes a little bit more woody and will not store as long. So you should use these ones first. That's why I'm keeping them separate from my long-term storage onions. Now that would be awesome if I could dig a hole in the hillside. Maybe my landlord would let me do that. For a root cellar, I have a basement, but our wood stove is downstairs and it's really hot in the winter down there. It's much cooler in the summer, so I'll keep them down there in the summer, and then I'll just move them outside to my trailer in the winter once it gets cold. So again, we're letting them cure though before we store them, and that's gonna give the chance for some of this mud and dirt to dry, and then it'll easily brush off. You'll know that your onions are ready for long-term storage when the leaves have dried and they just become papery. You can harvest these and use these green onions as well. I have so many onions that I'll save a few green onions to use inside, but I also have scallions growing and wandering onions that don't necessarily, honey, close the chicken coop door. I don't want the dog going in there. Thank you. Gosh, we had an incident yesterday. Got a chicken with her neck ripped open from the dog. We got a border collie puppy. R.I.P. Huckleberry, my pit bull, died last year. So this is our replacement puppy. Could never replace Huck though. He is the sweetest dog, my soul dog. I still cry about him at least once a week. If you get a chance to have a relationship with an animal like that, there's really nothing else that can compare. The unconditional love, it is really a gift from God. The dogs have helped humans evolve, I mean, immensely, protecting us, protecting our crops, companion, emotional support, watching our kids. I mean, a lot of people don't know that the pit bulls were actually nanny dogs, and used by pioneers as they traveled across America to help keep, oh, get out of here, help keep an eye on the kids, the livestock, guard from wolves. I mean, if you've ever known a pit bull, they are ferocious. They will protect their loved ones. So I would definitely need another pit bull. If anybody has a pit bull puppy that wants to get to a loving home, I love my border collie, but nothing compares to a pit bull. All right, back to the onions. Sorry. So I've pretty much gone through all of the onions that are going to be for long-term storage. And there's a few more in here. I'll go ahead and show you up close what else I've got going on. Okay, so there's a few more in here. They're just small guys that I harvested. They'll go up here. As you can see, I've got this hardware cloth in between whatever these are, 1x4, 1x3, 1x2. And this, I just found this on the property. It was probably used, like, I was gonna reuse it for a rabbit hutch, but hey, we're gonna dry some onions on it first. Reduce, reuse, recycle, right? So check out all of these stalks. And if I had let these continue growing, they would go to seed. And beautiful, isn't it? I'll probably harvest these, put these in a bouquet in my house, not to waste any of this beauty. But I probably should have left some in the garden to harvest my own seeds, but I was not really thinking about that. I was just thinking, ah, shit, I gotta harvest my onions. So that's it. There you have it. The 2025 onion harvest. I am trying to grow like as much of my family's food as possible. So potatoes, onions, carrots are staples in our household, and they're easy to grow, easy to store. You just need to have the space. And like I said, starting your onion from seed in February is much better than starting onion sets. So did you grow onions this year? If so, let me know how your harvest went in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow along if you want more news. My son wants to say hi to the newsletter, and that's at queenofthesungrown.com. Now I have a seed starting and ChatGPT garden planning. Watch that video and it'll show you how I planned what seeds to start, when, and how many for my family of 3. Well, 4 with the dog because I make all her food too. Hopefully 5 if anyone has a pit bull.